So after that place, I went to quite a few other places, and no games. Or if they had games, there were games I didn't really want to own. A bunch of crap games from PS1 or PS2. Nothing, no old games at all. Nothing newer or older than a PS1 game. So, but I did go to a place that did have some games. They had some GameCube games, and they had the GameCube system there and 17 games. They had everything in the box. It was really, really well kept. It was really nice. They wanted $60 for it, and that's that hefty price. But again, they might have marked it at 60, knowing that they're willing to pay 40, but they got some bargaining leeway. So basically, I went to the lady and asked her about I started talking about the GameCube, because I found 2 games I want. They got 17 games. They can probably get away with 2 games being missing and still sell a whole bundle. So, as I started mentioning about the GameCube and all that, she's like, "Oh, that's not mine. Yeah, or you have to talk to this guy." And she points out, and I guess it's her son. Looks like he's in junior high, or maybe it's a freshman. And it's a kid. Kids have value for games, especially their games. It's something they play, or, I don't know what it is, A mother who has a whole bunch of old games in their, garage from when their kids were there and played games and then moved on to college and stuff, they have no value for it. So, it's real easy to get a really good deal on a mom that has a whole bunch of video games left over from their son and daughter when they left. But when a kid's selling a game system, you ain't going to get the greatest deal in the world. At least that's my assumption was. And I'm thinking that he's may not even want to do this deal, or it might be so bad I don't want to do it. Because I'm thinking I got 2 games, I want $5 total. Not per game, but total. And I got the games, so, as he's walking over to the box, he asks, what games? And I'm like, well, they're no Super Mario Brothers or, Melee, because he had those games there. He had some good ones there, but it wasn't the ones I was interested in. And I pick it up and I'm like, well, I said, the first one is SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. It's got everything in there. The game looks a little bit kidsy, but, I'm willing to try it out. SpongeBob's like one of the newer cartoons I actually do enjoy watching. I watch that with my nephew. And the other one was Shadow, Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm kind of interested in playing the Hedgehog series, old games. Or I should say the newer ones, because the old games were the original Sega ones for me. So I pull them out, and I'm starting, trying to, let them know, these aren't heavy hitter games, therefore, they go for, I want a cheap price for them. Not only that, but they deserve a cheap price. They're kids' games, or a bad game. I heard bad things about the Sonic games. So, I'm thinking, maybe he, may give me a decent price on it, because they're not good games to him. So he just says that, he can't put a price down. And I know Bithead 1000 talked about it. He said when that happens, you gotta say a price, and you'll get it. Because they're so indecisive, you say any number, and they'll pretty much go for it. But for some reason, I choked on it. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, Bithead 1000 talked about this. And I had $5 in my mind. I should have said $5. But I didn't. I figured, I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to see what his actual initial price was going to be. How much he really wanted for it. Or what his initial guess was I was going to pay for it. And he ended up saying $5. He's really indecisive about it. And then I'm like, well, is it $5 a game, or is it, $5 total? And I had to, talk to him for about a minute to figure that out. But it ends up it was for everything. So I was happy about that. I could have probably haggled him down to $4, $2 a game, but I don't know. I'm a sucker. When someone says a number that I have in my mind I'm willing to pay, I end up almost always paying it without trying to haggle it down. There's only a few occasions where I've done that before, where I actually haggled it down further. But most of the times they didn't want to give me that price, the price I wanted. Well, actually, yeah, I only can think of one time actually someone gave me a price for a Game Boy game for $1, and I knew I could get it cheaper. I knew I could, and I was willing to pay $1 though. But I was like, I'm going to get greedy. I'm going to get it for 50 cents. And it turns out I got it for 50 cents. But I was going to pay $1 if she said no anyways. But so the next place I went to, a whole bunch of PlayStation 2 games. I only found one I wanted. They had some Wii games there too, but I'm not interested in that. Even though I got a Wii. It's Pac-Man World 2. It's a 3D game. And, it's got $3 on it. I wasn't going to pay $3. I was willing to pay $2, so go up to Leigh. I'm like, will you take $2 for this? She said, yeah, I'll take $2 for it. So, pretty happy about that. The inside's really nice. Really well kept. And she actually said that she played this last week. She actually played this game. And it's funny because a lot of times I talk to people about buying the old retro games, that the remakes and the greatest hit collections like this. I'm thinking like those aren't heavy hitter games. Those should be really easy to pick up and get for cheap. But most of the times I talk to people who are like my age, a little bit older. Those are almost always the games they do play. And all the games they have, those are the games they actually play consistently, or still play. And it just goes to show you that the old school Atari games are quality games. They get some entertainment too, because that's why else would people be playing those games and avoid all the rest of the games. So just a little tidbit for you guys when maybe you don't want to play the old Atari games because you're more like a 16-bit or 18-bit, but or 16 or 8-bit, but you might want to try it out. You get it for cheap. I'm gonna have to review. I'm gonna have to review some of these, but like I said, just from my experience with talking to sellers, those are the games they actually play. So that means it must be pretty decent. If those are the only ones they do play. So that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you next video.